Guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you see in today's title, I am back with a June monthly reading wrap up. I can't remember how many books I read. I think it was about 8 or 7 books that I have read in June, and I just wanted to get on here and share my monthly reading wrap up. So before we get into this video, please give it a like, to video, comment, and subscribe to my post notifications. So this is uploading on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and with that, listen to the video. So normally I donate my book so I can get the bare minimum of money, and that's what I did before I could actually record this video. So I just took a picture of the video of the books that I read, and I'm gonna put them up on the screen because I don't actually have them in my hand. But the first book that I finished is by Hildebrand, and it's called Golden Girl. So I've just been obsessed with this whole Nantucket summer beachy read. Like, I don't know, just reading a book about people being on the beach in the summer just makes me feel like I'm in the beach in the summer. So I'm so obsessed with this theme. I'm about to get away from it because I'm on the last Nantucket themed book. But I'm so obsessed with this book. So Golden Girl was about this lady. Her name was Vivian Ho. She was a novelist of the 13 beach novels. So when I was reading about this, I was thinking, okay, wait, maybe this book was about the author, but the author's still alive. So I don't really know how it kind of like connects. But anyways, the lady makes beach novels, and she has 3 grown children, and she is killed in a car accident. It was a hit and run, and again, this is on the island of Nantucket. And this was kind of interesting because it reminded me of Scrooge, but not Scrooge, but it's kind of like A Christmas Story, I think is what it is. But the lady, her body descended to the beyond, which is kind of like heaven basically. Before you get to heaven, you are in the beyond, and you're like in this whole waiting period, waiting hold, and you get to be in this room that's kind of like your whole imagination all built up in one room. And she had a period of time where she could watch her family down below on Earth, and she kind of had like a guardian angel that was there to give her 3 chances to make things right on Earth. So she did use those 3 chances for her children, and it was an interesting story. I like how I could kind of base this book off of a movie, because it literally was just like Scrooge. Like, if y'all remember the movie, something happened and like he was kind of like in the beyond, and like his soul went back in time, went forward in time, and he could just see how like things played out. So it was kind of like this book. When I first picked it up, I really didn't know the category, not the category, but the genre was kind of like about death. I didn't know that, but it is not a sad book. Yeah, the part of where the lady dies is sad, but having the lady in the beyond helping her children is kind of interesting to see, like, how are her children going to survive without her, and then how is she in the beyond going to help her children, give her children little nudges. I thought it was a really sweet book, and you know, everyone has secrets. There were a little secrets in the book, but it was an easy read. It's only 384 pages, so it's not too long of a book, and I was able to finish it pretty quickly because I was pretty invested in the story. The next book I read was Here's to Us. It is again another Elin, I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. Elin Hildebrand. I don't even know if I'm saying the name right, but the book was called Here's to Us, and this book was about these 3 ladies recently married, not recently, but previously married to this chef. His name was Deacon Thorpe. He was really popular. I think this, and it was kind of, I was trying to kind of piece it together, was he African American? I think he was African American, so you better go ahead. Throughout his life, he married 3 different spirited women, and in the beginning of the book, it talks about the life of Deacon. It kind of like dives into each marriage. I think this had to be my favorite book because I love reading stories about people that were previously married and like dissecting each of the marriages and seeing how each marriage was different. I don't know, I just love books that are like that, kind of like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Like, that book is a French, yeah. But yeah, this one was all about the marriages and things like that. But the real story of the book was that the celebrity chef did pass away, and he left behind a wife and left behind children. And his one final wish was for everybody to get along and be together and be on Nantucket. And his best friend was like, if that's your wish, that's what I'm gonna do. So he called everybody together, and they were all stayed in Deacon's house on Nantucket. And there were a lot of secrets that came to light between the wives, because basically none of the wives got together. They didn't get along, they were jealous of each other, but in the end of the book, like, just being on Nantucket and being in the house where the deacon last was, I guess it just kind of like brought them together in a sort of sense. And they were able to just celebrate his life on Nantucket in his honor. And there were some other things that Deacon left behind that was kind of messy, and the wives had to pick up the pieces. So the book does explain that. But I thought this book was really, really good, because I love reading about the marriages. I don't know, I'm really all for it. Again, this book was not hard to read. It has 410 pages. I don't think I took too long with this book. I might have done it in pieces just because it was a lot to just remember about each marriage. But it was a book that was really interesting. And the favorite part, or the best part about this book, is it does include Deacon's recipes. So I don't know if this is an actual guy or not, but the recipes seem legit. Like, it was real ingredients, real measurements, like it seemed legit. So I think he made like some really, really good clam chowder, or like a certain cake recipe that is in the book. So if you are interested in like cooking and you want to learn about this man, Deacon Thorpe, definitely get into this book, because it was really interesting. And now that like I'm looking at a review, it was based off of Divorced Woman, which I guess you can kind of pick up on that when you read the back of the book, but it's a really good summer beach read. The next book I read, again, is by the same author, and it is called The Rumor. These two ladies are best friends, and Nantucket is a gossipy island. That's basically what they want to set up on the foreground of the book, is that everybody on Nantucket knows each other, and they are known to gossip. So the first lady, Madeline King, she has writer's block, and she doesn't want everybody in the island to know that she has writer's block, but eventually it does come out when she buys this apartment away from her family, and people are like, did they get a divorce? Is she cheating on him? Is she seeing somebody else? What is going on in the King family? But really all she has is writer's block, and she bought this apartment to be like her writer's studio so she can get some ideas flowing. And her best friend, Grace, is not in the best marriage. She is head over heels in love with her gardener, and her gardener is in love with her. And mind you, she is married and she has 2 girls, but she's in love with the gardener. And every time the gardener comes over, they have, passionate kissing and, just like quick little love scenes, until Madeline, the writer, needs to create a story, and she chooses Grace's dilemma, her scandal, to be in her story. And the whole town of Nantucket goes crazy over this gossip, and the ladies have to get together trying to set the record straight. It does, in the end, harm their friendship. I believe they did make up, and the families are close, so there is kind of a rift between them because of this scandal. This book was really good, because I love a good scandal just like everybody else on Nantucket. And the gossip was it's gossip. The whole story was based off of rumors that everybody was feeding off of and spreading. It was really just one big rumor that was like bent out of proportion, for real. But this book is 384 pages. It's a good read, another beach read if you are interested in reading about rumors, fiction. It was really good. I did enjoy it, and the outcome was really interesting. This next book that I read was by B.A. Paris. It was called The Dilemma. This was actually a really sad book, and I didn't realize it was going to be sad. And if I knew it was going to be sad, I wouldn't have picked it up. This lady, I cannot remember her name because I don't have the back of the book, but the woman was turning 40. She did not get to have a huge wedding because she married at 19, So she was like saving up until she turned 40 years old so she could have the biggest birthday party ever. She has a daughter that lives in China, and then she had a son that's from home. And she was really looking forward to her daughter being at her birthday party, but her daughter was kind of going to surprise her and make up the excuse, saying that she could not get to her mom's birthday party because she was going on a retreat. But in the end, the daughter was kind of like making it a surprise for her because she was going to surprise her mom at her birthday party. This book was kind of interesting. It did it by day and it did it by times. So if the party took place on a Saturday, it started from 4 a.m., 5 a.m., like all the way down. Yeah, the daughter was gonna come, but she just made up a random excuse. So then it was the actual day of the party, and a tragedy occurred with the daughter. I'm not gonna spoil the book. I'm not gonna spoil it. But a tragedy did occur, and with that tragedy, the husband kept a really, really huge secret. Honestly, the wife was upset. But I don't know. I think it's two sides to this story. If you read it, comment down below if you do read it so I can talk about it with you. Because if you don't read it, I don't want to be on here and spoil the whole book. But I think there was two sides of the anger. Like, yeah, you could have been upset, but then you can also see why the person did what they did. He had little good reason as to why he kept this secret for maybe about like 3 hours or 2. I don't know how many hours, but he had the secret, and the wife was livid, and it was sad. But I think it was an epilogue at the end of the book, and they just showed like how the family was coping, basically. So if you are for a good heartbreaking page turner, this is the book for you, The Dilemma. If you aren't, I would advise from it because the ending was pretty sad. The next book I read was by Shari Lapina, Not Happy Family. Y'all, this is a picture of it. But this book right here kept me on my toes. It was, first of all, it was the easiest read I ever read. Like, I got finished with the book in one day. I finished the book in one day. It was so easy to read because the pages are big and the words are big. So I was kind of thinking it was more of like not a kid's book, but like a young teen's book, how easy it was to read. But Not a Happy Family is about this older mom and dad. The dad is terrible. I ain't gonna lie, like he has a grudge on all of his children, always something negative to say. If this takes place on Easter Sunday, and this is Easter Sunday, praise the Lord day, and you over here complaining about, like, what? It takes place on Easter Sunday, the family comes over, they have 3 children, they're all older, they come over for dinner. Dinner does not go well because it ends up in an argument between the father and like the kids, and they also have a housemaid that was at dinner as well, and the dinner does not go well. It actually ends in an argument, and they all leave dinner early and go home. Hours later, maybe at 11 or 12 at night, they get a call, but there is a murder in the parents' house. The parents are actually dead, and the whole book is about who killed the parents. All of the fingers are pointed on the children because the children get inherited a large sum of the father's will. And there's a lot of people that pop up in the book that kind of want to go after the father's money as well. It was a good book though, because I was dead set on who I knew who did the crime, and at the end of the book, I was completely wrong. I wish that the book kind of got to the point. It was dragged out a little bit about pointing fingers, and I'm kind of like, okay, this is kind of getting boring. Who actually killed these people? In the end, it did get to that, but I was kind of disappointed on how long it took for us to actually know what happened. You know, I just want to get to the end. I'm so excited and just read about what actually happened in the book. But it was a really good book. It will keep you on your toes. It is a page turner, and it was just. It kept my interest because I read it in one day. So if you are interested in reading Not Happy Family, if you want to read a mystery or murder, this book is for you. And the last book I read, the only book I have in my hands, is Winter in Paradise. So this lady, her name is Irene. She lives in Iowa City, and she has a lavish life. She lives in this 6th-floor house in Iowa City, the biggest house in Iowa. She built it up with her husband's money. Like, life was perfect. Her husband travels a lot because he, well, She believed that he was in a good like financial advising company, but turns out the man led a double life. He had a secret girlfriend and a child on St. John's Island. The book does take place in St. John's, which is why it's called Winter in Paradise, because it's cold in Iowa City, but it's hot in St. John's. And this is a 3 sequel book, so I'm currently reading the last of the trilogies now, but that's going to be in the July video. But yeah, the wife does find out that the husband has died. She has no control over information, no control over funeral arrangements. The man's boss takes care of everything, which is strange, because why can't I see my husband's ashes? Why are you making arrangements for my husband when he's my husband? You're just the boss. So apparently, the husband was in some dirty dealings with the boss, and this whole book, the first book, is about them fighting about the death, going down to St. John's, living in this huge house in St. John's that the husband had for him and his girlfriend and his child. And honestly, that just has to be devastating. Like, I found out that my husband is not in like Miami, you're literally in St. John's with your girlfriend and a kid. Not saying that the marriage in Iowa was perfect, it was dull. But either way, you have to have common sense in that. Like, come on now. So it was really interesting. I really felt bad for the lady because she was believing literally that her husband was in one place, but he was lying to her all the time. Like, that has to be a lie. But I really do like this whole trilogy about St. John's, and can't wait to finish the last book. I really just started, and I can't wait to finish the last of it. But this book, again, is another beach and summer read if you are interested. So that does conclude my June monthly reading wrap up. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please give it a like, to comment, subscribe, turn post notifications because I'm uploading on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And with that, thanks for watching, Lisa Babes. Oh, and by the way, I will be putting all of the books on my Amazon storefront. Click the link down below in my description to shop my storefront. Thanks again, Lisa Babes.